The last message. I should have never opened that message. It was 2:13 a.m. when my phone buzzed. Half asleep, I squinted at the screen. It was from my best friend, Ethan. Bro, I found something insane on the deep web. This is not a joke. Do not go looking for it. I mean it. My heart skipped a beat. Ethan wasn't the type to mess around. He was a tech nerd, always diving into weird parts of the internet. But this was different. A second message popped up. I'm serious. If you see a link called the Red Room 72, don't click it, no matter what. Then, just before I could reply, he sent one last text. I think they're watching me. And then, nothing. Silence. I called him immediately. No answer. I tried again. Straight to voicemail. I didn't know it at the time, but that was the last message I would ever get from Ethan. And it was only the beginning. A link to nowhere. The next morning, I went straight to Ethan's place. His car was still parked outside. The lights in his apartment were off, but when I knocked on the door, nothing. I called him again. Still voicemail. Something was wrong. Ethan wasn't the kind of guy to just disappear. And that message, I think they're watching me. It played in my head over and over. That's when I made my first mistake. I opened my laptop. Ethan and I had shared a bunch of links over the years, random forums, conspiracy sites, weird deep web pages. If he had found something dangerous, it had to be in our chat history. I scrolled up, and then I saw it. A message from 2 nights ago. A simple link. Red Room 72. Onion. I hesitated. I wasn't stupid. I knew the deep web was a place you didn't just wander into blindly. But something about Ethan's last text, the fear in his words, I had to know. So, I copied the link, opened Tor, and clicked. The live stream, the page loaded instantly. A pitch black screen, nothing else. For a second, I thought the site was broken, but then text appeared, red, glowing. Welcome to Red Room 72. I swallowed hard. My stomach twisted. A video feed flickered on. The quality was grainy, like an old security camera. At first, it just showed a dark, empty room, concrete walls, a single metal chair in the center. Then, something moved. A figure stepped into the frame. I stopped breathing, because the person on the screen was Ethan. The game begins. Ethan was blindfolded, tied to the chair. His head hung forward like he was unconscious. I slammed my laptop shut. My heart was pounding. This wasn't real. It couldn't be real. But I had seen him. I knew it was him. My phone buzzed. A new message. From an unknown number. You shouldn't have clicked the link. No. My hands were shaking. I stared at the message. The screen felt like it was burning into my eyes. You shouldn't have clicked the link. I swallowed hard. My instincts screamed at me to turn my phone off, to close my laptop, to pretend none of this had ever happened. But I couldn't. Not when Ethan was still out there. With a deep breath, I opened my laptop again. The Red Room 72 site was still there, still live. Ethan was moving now. His head lifted slightly. He looked groggy, like he had just woken up. His mouth was gagged. His arms and legs were tied to the chair. Then new text appeared on the screen. Rules of the game. 1. The player has 60 minutes. 2. The audience decides what happens next. 3. The player may only leave if they win. My blood ran cold. Audience? Then I saw it. A chat box on the right side of the screen. Hundreds of people were watching, and they were voting. Break a finger, 78%. Cut his cheek, 14%. Let him go, 8%. I felt sick. The timer at the top of the screen read 59 to 43. The countdown had begun, and Ethan was running out of time, he whispered. I had to do something. I scrambled to type in the chat. Stop. Let him go. Call the police. Nothing happened. The chat kept moving. More votes. More people laughing. Then something changed. Ethan moved again. He wasn't just shifting, he was struggling. His head turned slightly. And then, beneath his blindfold, his lips moved. At first, I thought I was imagining it. But then, he did it again. He was whispering something. I turned up my volume. Static. The sound was distorted, almost like it had been altered. But I could make out one word that made my stomach drop. Run. The second message. My phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number. You have been chosen. My breath caught in my throat. Check your front door. I froze. Number. No. This was a joke. A sick joke. Slowly, I stood up. Every nerve in my body was screaming, don't do it. But I couldn't stop myself. I walked to the door, put my hand on the knob. I wasn't ready for what I saw. A small package sat on my welcome mat. No name, no address. Just a symbol. A red number 72 drawn in ink. I slammed the door shut. I wasn't safe. And Ethan wasn't the only one they were watching. The final vote. Back at my laptop, the countdown was at 32 to 19. Ethan was shaking now. The chat was flooded with comments. Do it. Do it. Do it. Time to vote. A new poll popped up. Bring in the second player? Yes, 92%. No, 8%. My stomach twisted. Second player? My phone buzzed again. One final message. Welcome to the game. And then my screen went black. The second player. Darkness. My laptop screen had gone completely black. Then static. A faint crackling sound like an old radio tuning in. My heart pounded in my chest as a new video feed flickered to life. But it wasn't Ethan anymore. It was me. A grainy, black and white video of my own apartment. The camera angle was from above, like a security feed. It showed my desk, my chair, me staring at the screen. I shot up from my seat, my breath coming in sharp gasps. This was impossible. I spun around, looked at the walls, the ceiling. My apartment was small, there was no way someone could have planted a camera without me noticing. But there I was, on the screen. Nowhere to run. I backed away from the door, my mind racing. This wasn't just some sick game. Someone was here. Another knock, louder this time. I grabbed my phone, dialed Ethan's number one more time. Straight to voicemail. I tried 911. The call wouldn't go through. No dial tone. Just dead silence. Another knock. Then the doorknob turned. I ran, straight to the window, throwing it open. I lived on the second floor, but I didn't care. I'd rather break my leg than find out what was behind that door. Just as I swung my leg over the ledge, a voice, right behind me, going somewhere, and then the chat exploded. He sees it. He's panicking. This is great. Let's vote. Another poll appeared. Should we bring him in? Yes, 96%. No, 4%. The countdown timer flashed red. 1952. A loud knock echoed through my apartment. I wasn't alone anymore. The masked man. I didn't look back. I jumped. The impact sent a jolt of pain through my ankle, but I pushed myself up, forcing my legs to move. I sprinted down the alley, my heart slamming against my ribs. Behind me, heavy footsteps followed. They weren't running. They didn't need to. Whoever was chasing me knew I had nowhere to go. I turned a corner and nearly slammed into someone. A tall figure, dressed in black. A mask covering their face. The same red 72 was painted across it. I stumbled back, but they didn't move. They just tilted their heads slight like they were studying me. Then, they lifted a phone to their ear, and my phone rang. The only way out. I didn't answer. I couldn't. But the masked figure did. They spoke in a voice that was calm, almost friendly. "It's time to play, player 2. Then they held up something in their other hand. A blindfold. The same kind Ethan had been wearing. I took a step back, my pulse hammering in my ears. "No," I whispered. "I'm not playing." The masked figure sighed. "You already are." And then blackness, waking up in the game. When I opened my eyes, I was somewhere else. Concrete walls. A single metal chair. A camera in the corner of the room. The same exact room from the live stream. My wrists were tied, my ankles too. The only sound was the low, mechanical hum of a speaker in the ceiling. Then a voice crackled through it. "Welcome to Red Room 72. The countdown timer blinked in front of me. 59 to 59. The chat appeared on a screen beside me. Hundreds of people watching, laughing, typing, voting. And then I saw Ethan. Not in the chair. Not tied up. He was standing outside the room, watching me through a small window in the door. His face was blank, expressionless. Then the speaker crackled again. "Player 1 has returned." Ethan's eyes locked onto mine, and for the first time, he smiled. The truth about the game, I struggled against the ropes, my breath coming in ragged gasps. "Ethan, help me." He didn't move, didn't blink, and then he spoke. "You weren't supposed to click the link." The words sent a chill down my spine. What the hell is going on? Who are they? Ethan's smile never wavered. "They let me go. And now, you have to take my place." My blood turned to ice. No, that's not how this works." Ethan's expression darkened. "That's exactly how it works." I shook my head violently. "I don't accept this. I won't play." Ethan tilted his head. "That's what I said too." And yet there we are. The chat was going wild now. Break his hand, 67%. Slice his arm, 22%. Let him go, 11%. I couldn't breathe. The speaker crackled again. The audience has spoken. The door opened. Footsteps. Someone was coming in. And I realized, for the first time, I wasn't getting out of this. Not unless I found a way to beat the game. The final choice. The footsteps grew closer. My heart pounded so hard I thought it would burst. Then Ethan stepped forward. He bent down, whispering just loud enough for me to hear. "There's only one way out." My mind raced. Was he telling me to play along, to fight back? The masked figure approached, carrying something in their hand. A knife. I had seconds to decide. Play the game or break the rules? I clenched my fists. And I made my choice. The aftermath? I don't remember everything that happened next. Just flashes. Pain. Darkness. A door opening. Running. I woke up in my apartment. No blindfold. No ropes. Just me, lying on the floor, my laptop still open. The Red Room 72 site was gone. No trace of it anywhere. Ethan's number disconnected. The messages deleted. Like none of it had ever happened. But I knew the truth. Because later that night, I got one last text. "Congratulations, you won. Next game begins soon. Some games you don't want to win. Some doors should stay closed. And some links should never be clicked. What do you think? Was it real or just another dark web myth? Let me know in the comments. And whatever you do, stay off Red Room 72. Like and subscribe for more true horror stories.